This video is all about building a hillside and a hidden track and vegetation, tunnel, etc, etc. And now I need you to use your imagination, as we all do with model railways. The white card that you see up there represents the side of the hill. Okay, now imagine that this is the station, and from the station we're going to have a staircase that goes across the track and ends up in the hillside. The steps on the other side won't be there, in the hillside, and then there'll be a path in the hillside taking people just a little walk along to who knows where. I'll use my imagination when I get there. So that's basically what I want to achieve, and you as well as I, in your own mind, you are possibly the best modeler ever. You've got all the detail, you know how you're going to do it, etc, etc. When it comes down to it, I'm terribly poor at things like that. It never goes as I want it to go. So let me show you what my concept is. Behind that wall of card there is some plastic that I inserted when I first started doing the railway, and the idea of the plastic is that it will keep the train on the track, because there's no access to the track when my hill is put on. So if we have a quick look at how this goes through. Okay, so that will go through the other end, and that will come out through the tunnel. So when it comes out through the tunnel, we're smashing. Now what happens if it derails in the tunnel? I'll show you. So what I've done here on purpose, I have derailed. Now if this happens in real life, then what will happen is an engine will come up behind, and an engine will push these through, because they're not going to come off the side, and then they get out into the open, and there we are. So I can now recover it, hand of God, etc, etc. Now if that doesn't work because the engine's not strong enough or something like that, then my other alternative is that I have some very strong magnets, and I will put a magnet on a stick and push it through from one end, so I can start the process going, push it from that end or push it from that end, and in the end we will get this derailed train, whatever, out of the system. If you watched my video on the Skew Bridge, the very front caption is, it says Kingsbridge. Then you'll know that I found some bridges where the bottom of the bridge was stone and the top of the bridge was brick. So what I've done here, I've got some stone cardboard, and this is don't know if you can see this very well. Got this off the internet. Chap called John Smashing, he builds brickwork, and you see the little arches there, and so I've used the top half of this to form my inner bridges. So that's what I've got, and when that is glued in there, okay, that will show that it's stone at the bottom. That will be on both sides. So when that is stuck there, we've now got an entry which looks pretty good. On top of that, I am going to use a brick pattern paper, not this one, it's a slightly different one, but I've stuck them all on card. Hang on, I can show you roughly. There we go. Yeah, so that's the one I'm going to use on the tops of the tunnel. So if you can use your imagination, model railway's imagination, that will form over the top and come across there and glue to inside, be bigger obviously, and then the train, wherever a train may be, you'll be coming out through derailed, you get what I mean. So that's what it's going to happen. The reason for doing that is because I've got the camera, and I just like the track views as it goes around. So I will be using the track camera to go inside the tunnel. Now the other thing I'm also doing with the tunnel, which is the idea but not completed, not into action yet, I'm going to put a hole in the top of the tunnel, about 3 of them, and a tube will go down into the top of the tunnel, so that light can go in through the top and illuminate little bits of the tunnel. Basically, it's where the smoke would go if you're actually in a controlled tunnel. When it comes out at the top, there'll be some form of little grid, and there'll be a tree in front of it, so you won't see, as you're looking at the hill, you won't see the top of this. It'll be disguised somewhere. I could even put a small LED in the top, so I'm shining light down onto the track inside, so as the cam comes round, you're picking up highlights of light in various places. I think that's going to look quite good, and as I said earlier, my imagination, I'm fantastic. This is going to be absolutely brilliant. Putting it into practice is not going to be so easy. Now, just a little tip on doing the making this curve. Basically, if you drill a hole in various places, as I have done, then cut into it, you get your curvature is exactly as you would like it. If you just cut a slot into it, you've got that piece there which is a crease, and the crease starts to buckle, and you get a horrible edge up here. But as it is, just drilling that hole just helps the whole situation. Now, not this tunnel, but another one will be going there, so this piece will be coming up. There's a curve that I've done already. That's what I did. I don't know if you can see that. I've cut little slots. That's the good side, that's the bad side, printed badly, ran out of ink. That's the slots I've put in there, which curves it round. So when the tunnel goes there, that will go there, that will meet up with the tunnel, and hey presto, it's going to start looking good. So that's where I am at the moment. That's my thoughts and my aspirations, and when all the edges are done, then I will ballast the track, and then when the track is ballast, I will then form my hoop of inner tunnel lining inside of that, and then when that's done, how I'm going to do the front, don't ask, I haven't got a clue, but there's quite a good few bits of tips on the old internet, and I shall be following those. Steady. Well, so far so good. I've got the tunnel mouth in situ, and now I'm just going to prove the train. You just see it coming through from the right hand side through the tunnel, and also you're going to see it in the mirror. There we go, and everything works a treat, which I'm very pleased of. Whoops, almost off the end of the line. Yeah, so that's working well, so I'm very happy with that. Let's put that back on again. Okay, now carry on. Yeah, so that's quite good. I'll get these out of the way and then I'll show you all the block work. Turn that off. Okay. Okay, so there's the tunnel, and you can see the stonework on the inside. That's stuck all around there. And this is looking in the mirror, so we're now looking at the inside that you can't see. So I'm looking on the opposite side of that, so you can see that in the mirror. You can see not looking too bad. When I got to this point here, that's when I went from card to paper, but I'm saying to myself it's going to be dark in there, so we're going to be okay. So that's so that's where we are at the moment. Now the next thing I had to do was to construct the first roof to go in there.